Good evening. Well, I hope you noticed, but we have, this is a really exciting night because we have students from all 4 of our high schools working together back there. They're getting you plates, so they'll start bringing them to your table, so there's a little light dinner for you. So thank the kids when they come over to you. I think that's awesome. But we're going to go ahead and get started because I know you probably want to go home sometime tonight. And I'm just so grateful that you guys came. My name is Ray Dunn. I'm the coordinator of secondary. And I'm also a parent. My daughter goes to Citrus, and so I plan to learn a lot tonight, too, from all the great people we have from the high schools. You have your counselors here. You have your AVID coordinators. You have teachers, administrators, and they're all going to try and give us a lot of information tonight so that we can get our kids into college. There we go. And just a little background, why we're doing this, why we wanted to pull everybody together. We are really excited about what we're doing for kids. We have had AVID at the high schools, you're probably aware. We've had AVID at the middle schools, but now we have AVID at every single elementary school. This is the first year. So we are determined to get all of our kids ready for college, starting as early as possible to make sure they have the skills, make sure that they know what path to take, and so that middle school and high school will be a breeze for them already. So this is the first year that we've had that, so we're really excited about that. We also are going to give you a lot of information tonight about the PSAT and SAT. Every 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, and 11th grader will take the PSAT on October 19th. And that has been paid for by the district. It would usually be a cost to us as parents, but the district has covered it. It makes me very excited. And so you don't have to worry about that. But we wanted to give you information about that before they took it in 2 weeks, so that you knew it was coming. Also, our 12th graders are going to take the SAT, and that too is being paid for by the district, and they'll take it at school with their teachers right by them to just give them that access and opportunity to that test. And then we have just started, if you're a parent of a senior like I am, October is the month you can start really applying to college. So we wanted to make sure that we got all together so we could talk about that. And if you have questions like I have questions, we could get some answers about how to do that. Michelle Obama has a campaign too. It's called Better Make Room. And if you're a parent or a student and you text to 44044, you can do it right now if you want to. You can do it later. But you can sign up to get information sent to you. And if you're a parent, it'll give you information that a parent needs. And if you're a senior, it'll give you information for a senior. If you're a junior or sophomore or freshman, it'll give you specific information about getting ready for college right to your phone. So feel free to do that. And again, there's our share the news. This is the first time we have ever pulled together all our families in our community, and we're really excited about that, and we're so glad that you made time to be here. So let's celebrate that. That's my baby. She's thrilled that I put that up there. This is a commercial that Riverside County made, but they made it at Citrus Hill High School using Citrus Hill High School students. And this has been shown throughout the community to all of the county.
On the last one, I was not.
So I think that's pretty cool that those are our kids. And the whole county of Riverside will be using that as their commercial so they know that this is Kickoff Month. All right, so before we get too far into it, we did want to sing our national anthem. So we have two wonderful young ladies, one from Rancho Verde High School, Maria Gomez, and one from Citrus Hill High School, Alma Alvarado, coming to sing the national anthem for us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. And so I would like to introduce you to Mr. Mark Lenore. He's our Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services and my boss, so say good things about me. And he's going to give you some more information about what we're doing.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Just take a quick poll. If you're a proud parent in here, could I have you raise your hand? Proud parent? Okay, if you're a proud employee of Verde Unified, could I have you raise your hand? Okay, very good. Hey, you know what? Tonight's the first night that we've ever done anything like this in our district's history. And so you're part of making history tonight. And this night symbolizes a whole effort that's taking place across the district, from our elementaries, from our preschools, all the way up to our senior class. And it's very exciting. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of it, and you should too. I'm going to show you just some data real quick, just to give you an overview. And I showed this to our Board of Education the other day. And it's going to symbolize the effort and the push that's taking place across the district, in our classrooms, in our counselors' offices, everyone all making an effort together. So I would like to show you just our latest PSAT results, SAT results, and our advanced placement results. So right here you could see by year, 2012 all the way up to 2016, the number of AP students that we had just this past year. And guess what? The news is that we're going to have even more this year. So we're on the move, and here's a symbol of this. Number of AP exams that we gave this past year. You could see we went up over 545 exams over the previous year. You could see that there's a huge push and effort that's going on at our comprehensive high schools, alternative schools, and even our continuation school. And then when you take a look, the number of kids who actually are getting a passing score on our AP exams. I'm pretty excited about this because the research shows if students are taking AP courses and they're passing, their likelihood of actually doing well in college skyrockets. And this past year, we paid for all of our students' AP, most of our students' AP exam costs, PSAT costs, and SAT costs. So we're probably one of the few districts in California that did this. And I'm going to show you a little more data on this as we go. Okay, so the summary on our AP scores is this. We had 285 more kids involved in AP this past year, district-wide. We had 545 more exams, and we had 62 more AP passing exams. But more importantly is this. Even if a student didn't pass the exam and they got a 2 on their AP test, the research shows that they're probably more likely to do well in college. So our goal is this. We want to keep pushing our kids because we believe in them, we know they can do it, and if we do, their likelihood of succeeding once they leave us skyrockets. And so our goal is that we want to see more kids in higher education and that they are successful. But in the meantime, it's great when we have moments like this and we see parents that are happy and they're getting rewarded because their kid passed an AP test. So, are you with me? Is this good? Okay. Quickly, we're going to jump into PSAT and SAT, and then I'll leave you. But just some of the facts. We have been, as a district, recognized by the College Board more than once. Some of our high schools, Citrus Hill High School this past year was a model of excellence for its AP exam. 2 evenings ago. Yeah, clap on that. We haven't shared this yet, so I'm going to let you know this is hot off the press. But 2 nights ago, there's an organization called Ed Trust West that studies school district up and down the state of California. And they identified Citrus Hill High School as a bright spot in the state of California with all the efforts that are going on in there. We have Avid, kindergarten through 12th grade now. We're one of the few districts that's done this in Riverside County, and so kids are going to be being spoken to about their options. Let me tell you something. We're going to talk college, and we're going to make that a goal. But it's okay if the students are going on to a junior college or a community college. It's okay if they're going to go into military or a trade school. As assistant superintendent, I have 2 kids at home. During the day, I have 20,000. The 2 at home challenge me more than the 20,000 during the day. But I think collectively, if we're working with you, you're working with us, it's going to happen. And all we want is your children to have options once they leave and they can be successful themselves one day. Here are the number of kids in grade 8, 9, 10, and 11 who took a PSAT test. Now, if you don't know, the PSAT test helps our students get ready for the SAT exam. We paid for every one of our kids this past year, and we're going to do it again this year. So just a quick fact, when we take a look, this was the percentage, the participation in the district. Take a look at the second column. In the state, 25% of students in the 8th grade are taking the PSAT. If you look quickly to the left, how many in Verde are taking it? 94%. And in the nation, average is 24%. Take a look at the effort that's taking place in your school district. If you walked in the door proud, you should be walking out even more proud, okay? Because it's happening, it's going to keep happening, and it's going to keep getting better. I promise you that. And this is how we did in relation to that. Now, if you take a look to the left, that's how we're doing in relation to the state and the nation. We're not satisfied with that. But the fact of the matter is, when you have all your kids taking it versus the other schools' top kids taking it, we're actually doing really good. So we're going to keep that push. Here's the number of SAT takers with the class of 2016 compared to the state and compared to the nation. And this is how we fared. Not bad considering that every one of our kids is taking it rather than just the cream of the crop at other schools. And then this is what happened last year with your students this year. Those who volunteered on their own who took the SAT, 31% of our juniors took it. And we'll be paying for your seniors' SAT exam here very shortly. So in the end, this is what it's all about. It's about getting them across the stage and that they have options when they leave us. That's it. You know, as a parent, if I got struck by lightning today, all I would care about is that my kids were taken care of and that they're going to be able to live on their own and support themselves. I don't think you're any different than me as a parent. And so during the day, we're going to be doing everything we can for your kids so that they have those options once they leave us. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end and transfer over to our keynote speaker. But I just want to say I'm proud to be here, and I thank you for being here and being part of this. And again, together, we're going to keep doing what we need to do to make sure our kids all have successful options. Thank you.
All right, so some exciting news. And now I want to introduce a special guest. This is Mr. Julio Gonzalez. He's from Moreno Valley Community College. And who better to talk to us about college than someone from the college? So he's going to give you some information.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. The fact that you are here, it demonstrates your commitment to your students, and students, it demonstrates your commitment to yourself. Because even though within our system, within Verde Unified, we end at 12th grade, then we graduate, it doesn't stop there. In my presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about, just shortly, our options after high school. But I'm going to focus more on the 4 systems of higher education. And one of the main messages that I want to convey is that regardless of your plans, the most important thing is that you do what you need to do to accomplish your career goals, regardless of what institution, UC, CSU, private, community college, any institution. But let me first start off with, once you graduate from high school, in our society, we have 3 options. You can go to work, but unfortunately, around our community, there isn't a lot of opportunities with just a high school diploma. And I know the Amazon and Ross Distribution Center are always hiring temp positions and part-time positions, but there isn't a lot of opportunities. But that is one of the options students can do, is go to work. Second, they can enlist in the military. And enlisting in the military is an honorable option. It does provide a lot of great benefits, but that's one of the options. And third is that students can continue their preparation for the career that they want to do. In our country, in our state, we have 4 options. We have 4 systems where students can work towards that career. The UC, the CSU, private universities, and community colleges. Within the first system of the UC system, and within the UC, we're talking about UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC Riverside. There's 10 universities in total that make up the system. In this system, you can earn a bachelor's, you can earn a master's, or you can earn a PhD within this system. Obviously, before you get to the master's or the PhD, you have to earn your bachelor's. But as high school graduates, as you're applying this November, as you're submitting your UC applications, in order for you to be eligible, you have to complete the A through Gs. And I believe every senior, every high school student should know what the A through Gs are. And I'm not going to elaborate too much on that information because I don't want to spend an hour talking to you, because I know there's some great workshops after my presentation. But in addition to the the A through Gs, students also have to complete either the SAT or the ACT. And within the 10th and 11th grade A through G courses, students have to have a minimum of 3.0. That's the minimum requirement to apply to a UC. Obviously, more competitive majors and more competitive UCs will require higher GPAs, but this is the minimum for the system. Again, that's the A through Gs, and I'm not going to focus too much on this. But also know that one of the great things that this district is doing is that it's encouraging that every single student take the A through Gs. Because regardless if they're, what they want to do in life, regardless of what career they want to focus, this foundation can only help them. The 4 years of English, the 3 years of math, the 2 years of a second language, that can only help your students regardless of what industry they go into. But this is the minimum requirements for UCs and CSUs. Again, throughout the state, we have 10 UCs. Next, now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the cost, but also understand that there's financial aid, there's Cal grants, there's Pell grants, and again, I'm not going to spend too much time, but I encourage that students apply wherever they want to apply. I encourage them to apply to UC, CSUs, community colleges, and come April, after they get their financial aid award, kind of determine what is best for them. But you can see that within the system, does it have a laser? Let's see, there it is. Tuition, this is what they pay at the beginning, before they take any classes, in addition to supplies, insurance, room and board, transportation. So they average about, if you're on campus, 34, off campus about 30. If they're commuting from home, you can subtract the room and board by 9,000, and that's how much they would be paying. So this is just a breakdown of some of the expenses, but again, don't focus too much on this right now. I'll talk a little bit about it towards the end. The CSU system. The Cal State system has 23 universities, and within that, just like UCs, you can earn a bachelor's in arts or science, a master's, or a doctoral in education. The requirements for a CSU are similar to UCs, except that the minimum GPA is a little lower. But honestly, you see here that the minimum for the system is a 2.0. Unfortunately, that minimum isn't going to open a lot of doors. But they also require the A through Gs and the SATs. And again, there's 23 CSUs in the state of California, from Humboldt all the way up north to San Diego. And the university that I strongly encourage, if students are applying to CSUs, that they should be applying within our district is San Marcos. Because San Marcos is, we fall within the San Marcos service area, and students have a really good chance of being accepted at San Marcos. That's one of the options. And within the cost, you'll see that the fees are about half what they are for a UC system. And books, transportation, housing, all of that is about the same, but the difference would be the fees. And with cost of living, if they're living at home, that's going to be a lot less than if they're on campus or an apartment. But this is what they estimate. And what I tell parents is that when your student's a senior and when your student's a freshman at a university, they're not going to bring in more bills from being at home. This is just an estimate of what it's costing, but it's the same of what it's costing right now as seniors. So you can almost subtract this, and it would be about $12,000 of what additional costs would be for your student if they're living at home and commuting to the university. Now, this is a little hard, but the reason why I wanted to highlight this real quick is that many CSUs are impacted. Out of the 23, 17 are impacted universities. And what that means is that the 2.0 is not good enough. In order for students to have a chance of being accepted to that university, they actually need a higher GPA and higher SAT scores, except for their home school, their university that's within the university they're within their service area, which is for Val Verde again is San Marcos. So even though it's impacted for freshmen, Val Verde students do not have to have the higher GPA or SAT scores to be eligible for San Marcos. Then there's private universities. Within the private systems, we have USC, we have Stanford, we have Loma Linda, we have Cal Baptist. There's over 75 private universities and colleges in the state of California. And all of them offer different things. It would take me more than a day just to talk about every single one of them and what their requirements and what you're able to do at them. But within private universities, depending on the university, you can get a BA, MA, a trade schools, a certificate in associates. The admissions for universities, usually it's about the A through Gs, 3.0, around that range. But all that varies from university to university, and we encourage for students to actually research that particular university, work with their high school counselors to determine what they need to apply to those universities. And last but not least, the community college system. One of the nice things about the community college system where I work is that the requirements are if you're 18 or you have a high school diploma. That's the admission requirements. You do need a high school diploma for financial aid, but regardless of how you did in high school, you can start off at a community college. And at a community college, you can transfer and go on to a 4-year, or you can do a short career through career technical education. Again, other nice things about the community college is that there's 112, so almost in every community, a community college is around the area. Here where we're at, especially for Citrus, you're like at the center of Norco College, Riverside Community College, and Moreno Valley College. So they're throughout the state. But tuition is only $46 per unit. And if a student took 30 units in 1 year, and 30 units is what's the minimum to be considered like the first year college, it's about $1,380 just for units. Obviously, there's cost of books, supplies, transportation, food, and all that other stuff. But in comparisons to the other 3 systems, this is a lot cheaper. Now, within the 4 systems, and this is the main thing that I want to convey, the message that I want to give out, is that within the 4 systems, they're all great opportunities. All the accredited universities offer great opportunities. And students should apply wherever they want to. If they want to apply to UCR, UC Irvine, UCLA, Cal State San Bernardino, Cal State San Marcos, Riverside Community College, Moreno Valley College, wherever, I encourage them to do that. What I also encourage them to do is, as they're applying to universities, they should also consider, before applying to the university, what they want to do. What career do they want to do? Does that career require a bachelor's? Does it require a master's? Or does it just require a certificate? This is the kind of information that the students, the families should be asking. What is your career goal? And again, apply wherever you want to apply. But come April, because when you apply to 4 universities, they're going to give you an estimate on how much you're going to get in aid. Come April, sit down with your family, talk about the student and the parents and guardians, talk about what is going to be the best thing for them. Because if that university is offering a great financial aid package with grants and scholarships and work study, and you don't have to get a lot of loans, great. But if that university is asking for $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 in loans or $10,000 in parent loans, I would encourage you to really consider. Because if the student, for the career that they want to, is going beyond a bachelor's, you get financial support from the state and federal government to get a bachelor's. But beyond a bachelor's, it's scholarships or loans. And for most people, it's loans. Once you get to the master's and the professional schools, it's loans. So I encourage families to really try to plan it out, because if you're going in debt, if you had any type of debt, I would say school loans are a good debt because it's investing in yourself. But if you can save a little bit on the bachelor's because of the opportunities either at a community college, I would strongly recommend you to really consider that, because when you go on to the master's, for most people, it's all loans. And you don't want to finish a career owing 50, 60, 100,000, and it's a hard way to start your life. It really is. And really assess what university, what career you want to go into, and how much that career, what the salaries are to those careers. Because it can get very expensive, and if you owe credit cards, if you owe cars, you can go under Chapter 11 and claim bankruptcy, and it's forgiven. But if you owe school loans, they're never forgiven, and you'll be paying them till they're paid off. And so just things to consider. And there's federal programs that help you in paying, adjusting to how much you make, but overall, really plan it out. And every single system, community college, UC, CSUs, and accredited for universities, have great opportunities. So you can't go wrong. One of the things that I like to brag about is when I talk to students, some of them tell me, oh, I'm just applying to UCs because they're more competitive and they're better. And I ask them, why? CSUs are great. And they tell me, oh, no, because UCLA and UC Berkeley, that's it. Not realizing that CSUs sometimes are even more competitive than CSUs and than UCs. Then I get CSU students telling me, oh, I'm just applying to CSUs. I'm not applying to community colleges. I work too hard. I'm not going to apply to that. Not realizing that they have more options. At a community college, regardless if it's Moreno Valley College or Mount San Jacinto or Riverside, wherever, at a community college, they have different support programs. They have an honor roll program. They have different services to help students succeed. And firsthand, in my position, I have seen students who from Moreno Valley College are now at UCR, UCLA, in just different places. And the difference between going there from a freshman to a transfer, it's about $60,000. So again, overall, the main point is really plan it out, really do your homework, research, ask counselors about the cost, the attendance, the cost of attending all the different universities, and what career is it that your student wants to do, and what education it requires. So, does anyone have any questions? I know we have a lot of great activities, and some of these presentations are going to talk about financial aid, so I didn't want to focus too much on that. But is there any questions before I hand over the mic? Thank you so much. Again, I congratulate you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. So before we go, and I'm going to tell you what your options are for more information, we're going to break into smaller groups so that you can, hear a little better and make sure you get the information you need. But I wanted to mention a few things. First of all, thank you again to the kids for serving us and cleaning up. So thank you, volunteer students that are coming in. On the table, there were these cutouts, and if you want to, we would love to hear what as a parent or a guardian or a grandparent, what your hopes and dreams are for your child, and so that you can share that with them. And if you want to leave it, we're going to post them up in the district office so that we can remind our kids about what our dreams are for them. And then, do you love the centerpieces? Aren't they beautiful? They were made by our students at Rancho Verde High School. So we have a floral design class there, and so they made those. And they're actually a gift. On every table, one of the chairs has a sticker on the back of it. And whoever chair has the sticker gets to take the centerpiece home. All right? Yay! So you can fight over it. Okay. All the moms are like, give it to me. It's mine. So when you leave today, you can take it with you. You got it? All right. There are 4 different rooms that you can choose to go to. On the tables, there are these little handouts that has this same information. It has the room number and what they're going to talk about and who it's recommended for. So like the first room in 301, and we'll show you where that is, it's about surviving high school. And we recommend it for 9th and 10th grade families, but it does have information for everybody. Or getting into college, that's a lot about the PSAT and SAT, that big test that's coming up, if you want to find out more about that. Applying to college and paying for college, right? There's 4 of them. You're going to get to see 2 of them tonight, so you have to pick the 2 that you want to see the most, okay? We're going to offer them twice, so you'll see that we'll have, in just a minute, we'll break, and you can pick to go to the first session for about 30 minutes, and then we will break at about 7:50, and you can go to the second session. So you're going to want to pick the 2 that you want to go to the most. There's also room on this if you want to take notes, all right? That's what it's also for, so that you, but I know they're probably giving you so much information tonight that you're like, later you're going to say, wait, what? What were they talking about? Everything, and maybe you want to go to one, but you can't go to it because you can't go to all 4, right? We're going to post everything that gets shared tonight on our school website. It's one of the reasons we wanted your email, so we can maybe get in contact with you and send you a link. But we're also going to just try to make a web page where it's all about college information, and everything from tonight will be on there so that you can see it again, or you can access it, all right? So when we leave, we'll let the students in a minute will help us clean up. So there's trash cans over there, but if you want to leave your plates, we'll clean those up. We're going to exit in a minute through those doors over there. And the 300s, the classrooms that you're going to choose from, are all on that side of the campus. It's a little quad. It's not far at all, but they're either on this side or on this side. And the students will help us make sure that we all know where we're going. If you want your children to stay in here, we do have childcare, and they're just going to stay in here and hang out and have some fun with us. And so you're more than welcome to let your students or your children stay in here while you go and sit and try and ask questions and get some more one-on-one, okay? So, hey, look, 3 minutes to get to your first session. We're right on time. I don't know how that happened. But go ahead and enjoy the night, and thank you so much for coming.